Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Blue Eyes Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for Post-Legendary Duelist Season 3. We got the Mystical Elf White Lightning in the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set as a box topper promo. It's a really awesome card that can definitely help a good number of normal monster decks, just being able to special summon itself out, negate a monster effect, and then also make it so your opponent has to attack into your own Blue Eyes monsters. This is going off of the powerhouse play that Yugi did in the original anime, where Mystical Elf powered up the Blue Eyes that he special summoned while fighting the fake Kaiba. So really great homage to that scene, definitely one that I hadn't thought about in a good while, but an awesome one at that. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the deck profile. So since this is a Blue Eyes deck, and it is a big focus on the normal monster setup, we are running 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's your powerhouse in the deck. Not only is it your setup for a good number of the plays you want to make in this deck to begin with, but with the 3000 attack and Mystical Elf's own monster effect, it definitely is a way just to take out your opponent's own monsters with this card. Along with the 3 Blue Eyes, we are also running 3 copies of Mystical Elf White Lightning. When a monster your opponent controls activates its effect, while you control at least one level 5 or higher normal monster, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, negate the effect, and then during your opponent's battle phase, quick effect, you can target one normal monster in either graveyard, special summon it to your field. If you do, all monsters your opponent control must attack that monster this turn, if able, while you control it. And you can only use each effect of Mystical Elf White Lightning once per turn. So this is the way just to special summon this card out, negating a monster effect. Also having the normal monster on the field, making your opponent swing into this normal monster, can make it so your opponent's monsters, if they're not 3000 attack, either your opponent attacks with a monster that's strong enough to hit over the Blue Eyes first, or they're going to lose all their monsters if they can't make a play big enough to do so. Going into a Link monster can definitely be dangerous because that attack position monster can't switch its battle position, so then it'll just have to swing into the Blue Eyes and, suffer the consequences of you special summoning out this card that could also potentially stop a monster effect to, have a way to get over that Blue Eyes. For some of the other 3-ofs, we did receive some new support from Battle of Chaos that we're still running at 3 numbers. That being Dictator of D, being able to special summon while you control a Blue Eyes monster, choosing the attack targets for your opponent's attacks while this card's on the field. So, just another way to have a redirect play, just like Mystical Elf White Lightning. And you can only use each of the following effects of Dictator of D once per turn. You can send one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or deck to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. You can discard one Blue Eyes White Dragon or one card that mentions it to target one Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So this can also set up the normal monster Blue Eyes White Dragon in your graveyard for Mystical Elf White Lightning. It's just a great setup and control card that you definitely do want to run 3 of. The other 3 of that we run is White Stone of the Ancients, just for the special summon power. Also being a tuner monster, you can make use of it to summon out your Blue Eyes synchro monsters through the extra deck to the field as well. Once per turn during the end phase, if it was in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can special summon one Blue Eyes monster from your deck, and you can banish this card from your graveyard to target one Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. More recycle power, so a definite 3 of. I also run 3 Sage with Eyes of Blue. When this card is normal summon, you can add one level 1 light tuner monster from your deck to your hand, except for Sage with Eyes of Blue, and you can discard this card and target one effect monster you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon one Blue Eyes monster from your deck. You can only use this effect of Sage with Eyes of Blue once per turn. So if you have the White Stone of the Ancients on the field, you can discard Sage, sending the White Stone, giving you the special summon of a Blue Eyes because of that effect. And since White Stone of Ancients will be in the graveyard, another Blue Eyes or Blue Eyes monster at the end of the turn as well, giving you 2 powerhouses on the field. I also run 2 of the White Stone of Legend. I dropped this number for the numbers of the Mystical Elf White Lightning that we run in the deck. I find 2 to be fine as more of a discard cost as well, with cards like your Melody of Awakening Dragons. You can get the search off of the White Stone of Legend as well if it's sent to the graveyard, just to add one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. And for the 1-ofs, the reason these cards are at 1, just because they're incredibly searchable, and for that, we are running 1 Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, being able just to easily search this 3000 attack, 2500 attack point monster with some of the spells we run in the deck. 1 Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon for more of the protection power setup on the field. 1 Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, following the same principle possible with this card. Also being able to special summon this card for your play onto the field with this monster. And lastly, 1 Dragon Spirit of White. The alternative is for popping power of your opponent's monsters, and Dragon Spirit of White is able then to also give you a play of banishing a spell or trap your opponent may control. For more of the generic dragon setup, I also run 1 Chaos Dragon Levianeer. You run the Light Attribute Blue Eyes cards. Dictator of D is a dark monster, so you can have the destruction effect when you banish both a light and dark monster off of Chaos Dragon Levianeer, but you can also get the special summon power if you only banish light monsters with this card. If you can somehow banish all dark, you get a discard play from your opponent, but most of the time I am going for the light special summon of more monsters from the graveyard onto the field, because along with Chaos Dragon Levianeer being a level 8 monster, you do have options to go into some rank 8 plays with the extra deck using him. And lastly, I also run 3 Nebula Dragon. You can reveal this card and 1 other level 8 dragon monster from your hand, special summon both in defense position but negate their effects. Also, you cannot normal or special for the rest of the turn except for light or dark dragon monsters. So with this play, when your opponent activates a card effect while you control a level 5 or higher normal monster, that can just be the setup needed if you control the Mystical Elf White Lightning in your hand to special summon out and have the negation of one of your opponent's cards. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. For search power, I am running 3 Melody of Awakening Dragon. You discard 1 card, add up to 2 dragon monsters with 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. That is a good search for up to a good number of the 1-ofs for the Blue Eyes monsters we are also running in the deck. Being able to add those copies while also just discarding a card. Potentially you do want to discard the tuners because then they can give you an additional search with this card. Since we are running a pretty big number of level 8 monsters, I also run 2 trade-in. You discard 1 level 8 monster to draw 2 cards. It's not a once per turn. I just like to run 2 of each of these cards because I am also running 2 Bingo Machine Go for the additional search of some of these spell or traps or the Blue Eyes monsters that we run. Just being able to pick one, either a Blue Eyes monster or 1 spell or trap that specifically lists the card Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, except for Bingo Machine Go. And then for some of the 1-ofs for the spells, I run 1 Dragon Shrine, more graveyard setup, and with Dragon Shrine, you send 1 dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if it was a dragon normal monster, you can send 1 more dragon from your hand or deck to your graveyard. So with this play, you have the send of the Blue Eyes, which will also set it up in the graveyard, for your Mystical Elf White Lightning on the field to then just set up this card to special summon out when your opponent would attack into you, and then the 1 additional card, so you don't even have to summon out the Blue Eyes to the field. You can keep in your hand because then you could just send, along with the Blue Eyes, the 1 Whitestone Ancients thanks to this card. I thought of bumping up this card to help with the combo overall. If you wanted to add more Dragon Shrine or even just a potential Foolish Burial along with a second Dragon Shrine, you could take out the Bingo Machine Goes, since the main focus of the deck would be to set up the Mystical Elf White Lightning as the newest support. And I also run the 1 Vision with Eyes of Blue. When you activate this card, you can reveal 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand to special summon 1 monster from your hand. And once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster you control, return that face-up monster to the hand, then you can apply these following effects. You can either, for the card, return to the hand. If it was Blue Eyes White Dragon, special summon 1 monster from your hand, or other, special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your hand, giving you the option of using Blue Eyes to special summon another monster, or another monster to special summon Blue Eyes. I run the 1 Ultimate Fusion for being able to fusion summon out 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon, so the good majority of those monsters, and also 1 Monster Reborn and 1 1-for-1. The 1-for-1 pretty obvious for the level 1 special summons, and just being able to summon out any of the powerhouses we mentioned before with Monster Reborn is a absolute plus. And then for the traps, the only trap that I run in the deck is the True Light trap. Your opponent cannot target Blue Eyes White Dragon in your monster zone with card effects. If this face-up card is sent from the spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, destroy all monsters you control. You can only use the following effects of True Light once per turn. You can special summon 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or graveyard, or set 1 spell or trap directly from your deck that specifically lists Blue Eyes White Dragon in its text, giving you more of the 1-of search, being able to then just activate cards like Vision with Eyes of Blue, or set up Ultimate Fusion to use on your opponent's turn to send the Blue Eyes you may have special summoned off of your play, and then added with your Mystical Elf White Lightning to then special summon back onto the field. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. For the fusion monsters, I run one Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, just needing one Blue Eyes White Dragon, and one Dragon Monster. With your setup with your Nebula Dragon, you could have the two monsters needed on the field to fusion summon out your Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon with Ultimate Fusion. The one Blue Eyes Twin Burst. I know we only have one fusion spell in the deck, but it is searchable with some of the other cards we run. But Blue Eyes Twin Burst doesn't need the fusion spell. You can also just send the above monsters you control to the graveyard to summon out this card, having a banish effect after it attacks into a monster, and also not being able to be destroyed by battle. One Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon, and one Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon for more of the destruction power of your opponent controls with Alternative Ultimate Dragon, and then the multiple attacks that you can get with Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. For the Synchro monsters, I run the one Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon and the one Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. You can special summon the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon off of your Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, being able to have this card also protect your cards on the field. With this play, I did that in reverse. It's Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon that actually special summons Azure Eyes Silver Dragon for more of a protection play, then being able to summon this card out, protecting your cards on the field as an extra defensive play for one turn. And with Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, your opponent cannot special summon monsters at the same time if it's two or more, and also they cannot you have one graveyard activation effect of a card per turn as well, so great shutdown with this level 9 synchro monster. Also, the pendulum plays are also just completely shut down thanks to this synchro. For the Link monsters, I run one Link Karibo and one Salmon Great Almirage. So you have the level 1 Link plays to link away into these monsters to also set up the graveyard with those Blue Eyes tuners. And also one Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres, one Crystron Halqifibrax for more tuner special summoning, one Lena the Light Charmer for more light attribute special summon plays of our opponent's cards in their graveyard, especially if they have Effect Veiler, and one Underclock Taker for lowering our opponent's monster's attack by an arrow that it points to of a strong monster on our field, and the one Nightmare Unicorn for spin back plays of our opponent's cards. And then for the Xyz monsters, I run one number 68 and one Heretic Sun Dragon. If you wanted to run number 38 instead of number 68 as a spell negator, you can always run that as well. It's just another rank 8 option. But they still come in handy a lot, especially with the Nebula Dragon special summon if you don't have the overlay option available for those cards. As for some of the go-to plays with revolving around the new Mystical Elf White Lightning, when your opponent control activates its effect, while you control level 5 or higher normal monster, you can special summon this card. This goes really, really well with the Nebula Dragon special summon, just being able to have both of these cards on the field. If you have the special summon thanks to Nebula Dragon, you can then also rely on the fusion play with your Ultimate Fusion, with your opponent activating its effect, special summoning out your Mystical Elf to the field, negating the effect, and then being able to activate the Ultimate Fusion to fusion summon out a monster that mentions Blue Eyes. Will set up the Blue Eyes in your graveyard, summoning out the Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. Then when your opponent's turn comes around, you can then use this effect during your opponent's battle phase to target one normal monster in either graveyard, special summoning it to the field. And if you do target one normal monster, special summoning it, all monsters your opponent control attack that monster this turn. So then your opponent will have to swing in to the Blue Eyes White Dragon to hit for potentially some pretty big damage, while your Mystical Elf just stays on the field as a potential monster you can use for a Link summon next turn using one of those cards, whether it be the Blue Eyes White Dragon to go into another Link 2 that you can utilize, or even just another level 1 monster that you can summon out onto the field and use those two monsters to even go into a bigger play like the Crystron Halqifibrax. That is the main setup you will use with your Mystical Elf White Lightning, being able to have a protection option for you by being the hand trap negation in the deck, but still also being able for you to make use of your Blue Eyes on the field, but then also being able to summon them back on the field. If your opponent has a normal monster, that gives you one additional resource to special summon out with this card as well. And with cards like Red Eyes Fusion still being a thing, you can potentially have a target that your opponent may use, including Red Eyes Black Dragon and Dark Magician, to summon out onto the field. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy the video. Definitely happy with this new promo. It makes for a more fun Blue Eyes setup that you can definitely do with the deck, so definitely look forward and into adding this card into your Blue Eyes deck potentially. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.